Mike. There we go.
Our
Oh,
buttons
there
weren't
we go.
on.
Oh
We were
no,
completely muted the entire
we were
time.
muted for that
Good
entire
job.
beginning.
Well, hello everyone. So we made about a week ago a joke. Yeah, we're timely. We're awesome. Um, wasn't Bobby Schmurder arrested? Wasn't Bobby Schmurder arrested?
Was he?
Yeah, I thought he was arrested for like a crime he committed that he did right after about a week ago came out.
I didn't know that. I don't really follow that kind of stuff.
Neither do I. I know, but what I didn't know was Take, who killed someone. And then while the cops were after him, he made a music video in the forest called "The Chase," taunting the cops about being on the run for killing someone. And he got caught almost immediately. And people saying "Free Take."
Amazing.
Okay. This episode we don't really have any real topic in mind, but we're gonna start off with nukes. Well, not real nukes. We're gonna talk about nuclear whatever. So you start because I have not too much of a clue what's going on.
So, eating,
Chewing sounds
chewing
for
sounds.
everyone
So,
to hear.
something I learned is that my grandfather, he worked for Con Edison, and he did a lot of electrical work, and he actually worked on 3 Mile Island.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
Now, if you don't know, 3 Mile Island was a nuclear power plant off the coast of, I want to say New York or Connecticut. It's just off the East Coast. And I believe it had a meltdown. Not as, of course, not as something catastrophic as Chernobyl, but it had a meltdown, and that's one of the reasons why people are scared of nuclear power.
I think nuclear power is cool.
I think it's awesome.
I would love to see it implemented one day, but we need to use the right elements. Well, did you ever see that? Remember that salmonella video about thorium?
Yes.
How thorium is like blue uranium that's cooler and does all the more cool stuff.
Yes.
I would like to see where that would take us having nuclear energy. Going away from like coal or like gas.
Yeah.
Gas prices is $6 freaking in some places.
I feel like before we can move to like entirely renewable energy, we're gonna have to move to nuclear, because with the way our infrastructure is set up, and the way the cost of things goes, it's going to cost way too much to replace everything we currently have with renewable, because the cost performance for renewable resources, renewable power, I should say, that kind of not that good, because you can have a couple 100,000 solar panels, which which is outperformed by like a small coal plant.
Really?
Yeah, it's converting solar power to electrical power. It's at the moment, like, cheaper panels are still not very good.
So all this
at the
and that about
conversion
solar
ratio.
energy being the next step.
Oh, it's good.
Crap.
It's good, but we need more efficient solar panels, and we need more.
We don't have the technology for that yet.
They're working on it. I think they have a lot of more, of course, more advanced technology for solar panels. In laboratories and whatnot. But I feel like, because of how global warming is, they're going to, if we remove coal plants and electrical, or coal plants, oil plants, whatever, with nuclear, we will have a lot more power, because one nuclear plant outperforms a very large coal or oil plant, and it produces like a fraction of the greenhouse gas emissions. It's mostly just steam.
That's cool.
Which will give, if we replace a bunch with that, you could slowly phase out, non-renewables, which will give, time for things to, maybe return to a little bit more normal atmospherically.
How about you and I?
Hmm.
We get a one-way ticket to Chernobyl,
Cool.
and when we're there, let's not wear any radiation-proof
Okay.
equipment.
Okay.
So then let's go play with the radioactive animals
Okay.
who
Fine by me.
are actually really nice.
I've heard.
Everyone who's been to Chernobyl said that animals haven't seen humans for their entire lives, for generations at this point. So you can go like that, and a bird will just come up to you and just say, "What are you?" And then it'll kill you by radiation.
Cool. We
Um,
could go play with the elephant's foot.
yeah, I was gonna go say I want to get stepped on by the elephant's foot.
What do you mean stepped on? Like radioactively stepped on?
No, it's gonna come to life. It's gonna kill me.
Cool.
So a really cool story is when the Russians went to go check on the elephant's foot, they brought drones first, and they said the drones would get destroyed by the radiation before it even got there. So the next best decision was to have a guy stand around the corner and blind fire at it with an AK to see what would happen, and it would be chipped. Yeah, the Russians thought, yeah, radioactive material made from the countless lives of people being killed. Let's shoot it. But supposedly there's like a fungus that's eating it.
Cool.
There's like something eating the elephant's foot slowly but surely.
So it's almost
So
like
I want to take a piece of the elephant's foot as a souvenir.
a radiophile bacteria.
Yeah.
You can get a little, put it in lead glass, like a lead glass container. Well, would lead glass even prevent gamma radiation from coming through? Is it the same as like, a lead container?
I think radiation's radiation, I guess, and that's why they use lead for everything.
Well, yeah, but is lead glass the same? I feel if we were to go to like a radioactive exclusion zone, I would want to take a film camera with me because you know how like radiation reacts with film, where it can like partially destroy or mess up your photos.
Yes.
And I would love to get those developed and make them art.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool.
Make them into NFTs.
I'm not making them into NFTs.
You have to make nuclear FTs, nuclear fission tokens.
Nuclear fission tokens.
When you buy one, it becomes real, and you can like hold it yourself, and it'll kill you. It'll give you cancer.
Cool. And all through your hand.
We'll make elephant footies.
Elephant footies.
Floyd May. I know we already did the NFT episode, but Floyd Mayweather's making his own NFTs now. The boxer.
I thought he was MMA, or is he boxer?
He's a boxer.
He's a boxer. Huh.
He's making his own NFTs. From what we know, it's probably gonna be like $100 bills with his face on it that says TBE, the best ever, and I think it's gonna be the color and the number on the dollar bill is gonna be what it's gonna be worth.
I hate that.
I mean, the NFTs have been dropping really hard, but I think if we make elephant footies a thing, it'll make the world a better place.
No, because it's going to end up killing all the NFT pros.
I want to make a elephant's foot that has a badass eye patch. He's got like the Terminator face.
I love that we're like personifying this like heap of metal slag that's more radioactive than the core of the sun.
Is it?
I'm not sure. I'm not actually 100% sure. I know is that like walking near it's enough to like give you radiation poisoning for the rest of your life.
I think if like the apocalypse happens from any reason, some like Russian people are gonna go walk up to the elephant's foot and like worship it as a god, and then it's gonna turn into an actual like radioactive god. That'd be kind of cool.
Thoughts on the demon core?
The demon core. Well, last time I played with a wrench, it kind of glowed blue and it made my hands puff up to the size of baseball gloves. Unfortunately I died. But I do like to grill on the demon core once in a while.
You like the grill on the demon core? I see. Now, what would you do if you were given the opportunity to yank that screwdriver out from between the two hemispheres of beryllium?
If I was given the opportunity to do it, that depends. Would it give me mega cancer.
I'm pretty sure the reason why that screwdriver was in there in that photo was to keep them from touching, or I believe if they were to collide together, that would cause a reaction.
I saw a documentary on it. Those were two pieces of slightly different radioactive
Yeah,
materials.
they're
that
2 half spheres of beryllium. Yeah,
just barely not touching each other, but being held up by, like, at the time it was screws keeping them from touching each other. But the brilliant scientists who we know, trust, and love decided, let's open up the screwdriver, and they start playing with it. And the guy who had it in the photo that you're talking about, he had it there, and his hand slipped as he was doing it, and they fell on top of each other, and immediately the entire place started glowing bright blue, like everything started going completely bright blue, like it was infrared, but blue, info blue. Um, and the guy who messed up, I almost made a funny word there. The guy who messed up, he had to pick it up by hand, put it back on the thing, and then screw them back in so that it would stop. Because the whole point of the demon core is once they touched, they wouldn't stop unless they were on those screws, who were made of like a specific metal. When he came out, the people who were on the other side of the glass, like of the protective glass too, said that their eyes were burning. They could feel like their skeleton, like their bones, like every bone in their body felt like it was growing. They could only describe it as because it was in so much pain. And the guy who actually was firsthand there, who actually messed up, his eyes were partially melted. His skin was like sludge, it was like gooey, and his hands had ballooned up 4 or 5 times their size with burns. And everyone there had died a couple years later of radiation poisoning.
I love nuclear radiation.
I love nuclear radiation. Oh boy, it's my absolute favorite.
Yummy.
I love it when Homer Simpson says "don't" and then kills all of Springfield with one nuclear blast. What do you think about that concept that Homer Simpson, the stupidest guy in America, who he's supposed to be, is the head guy to guard the Springfield power plant?
I feel like it's the reason why they did that, it was some kind of, it was almost like a tongue-in-cheek, like observation on like America, I guess America.
That's the whole show, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, in Simpson, all of the Fox shows are kind of tongue-in-cheek observations of American life, I guess. The Simpsons is the most realistic of them, of course.
I mean, early Simpsons, that is. Anything before season 8.
Yeah.
Season 8 and onward. Season 8 itself was good. It's one of the best ones. That's where Homer's enemy comes from. The one everyone knows. Afterwards, it just kind of goes downhill because they get creatively bankrupt. Because it's hard to let... Once you've done everything, it's hard.
Once you've done 20-something seasons of Homer Simpson.
Homer. Homie.
I require eggs. And once you hear "eat my shorts," 3,467 times, it kind of doesn't get funny anymore.
I wonder how many times Bartholomew Simpson has said "eat my shorts" in the history of The Simpsons.
He has a lot. I don't know how many specifically. That's the radiation poison getting to me. Demon cores come to haunt me. So canonically, Homer has killed many people because he's an idiot guarding the Springfield nuclear power plant. It is canon that he locked some dudes in with a demon core, and they melted in front of him, and he just ate a donut at it. Would you call the guy who messed up Chernobyl Homer Simpson? Have you seen the movie Chernobyl?
For A, I have not. B, I don't think I would call the guy. The thing is, it was. I don't think it was one person that messed up. I feel it was a structural. I believe it was like a structural failure.
It was
that caused it. Whether it be with the actual systems, I believe it was the systems themselves that failed. Yes,
it was a matter of slight system failure and major like structural failure. in the movie Chernobyl, they actually explored that. Basically, the scientists, they were already saying this is stupid. Why are we putting so much pressure on this thing? Why are we doing this? We can't take it. It's not built for that. And when one thing went wrong with one of like the rods, so Chernobyl's like this big circle of like
Right.
square like tubes
Right.
going up and down. One of them got stuck, and then everyone said, "Oh!" So they put all the water they could, or they did everything they could to try to stop it. But then another one got stuck, and then another one, and then the panic just set in, and everyone's panicking and doing all the wrong decisions in a haste, and that's when the structure itself was starting to get too much pressure from what's building up inside the core. Started breaking everything down. It started leaking into the basement where all the water was. And when they tried to put water in it, it cooled the top half, but the bottom half started to leak out faster because all the water's pushing it down.
Right.
And that's what made the elephant's foot. Uh, and some heroic. Can I say the? I can't say that. Some heroic dude runs down in the middle of all the radiation in the sewers to turn everything off as fast as possible and put as much water everywhere, like to flood the place with water. It worked for a little bit, but by the time he had done it, all the cores had suddenly got unstuck and went back down, showing that they were empty, but there was too much pressure to hold it. So in Chernobyl, everyone's just staring at it, absolutely terrified. Just and then some dude just starts screaming. He's screaming and nothing's happening. And then when someone says, calm down, then it explodes. And that's what caused the entire Chernobyl accident.
Interesting.
There are people from Chernobyl who are still alive today who go to Chernobyl to see what their home is like now.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
I have. I actually saw a bit of a documentary on the people that had lived in the exclusion zone prior to the event.
Isn't what's it called? Hiroshima and Nagasaki still, are they livable again, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe so.
They are?
I believe they were because, there's a difference between a nuclear bomb going off and a nuclear power plant
How would do
going
nuclear
redlining.
bombs work? I never actually
So
know.
it's effectively the way the Fat Man and Little Boy bombs worked. Is it was a warhead, explosive warhead with a tube in it, and when it was, the detonator went off, it would fire a charge of I believe it was one of the isotopes of uranium at another piece of uranium. Then they would just
Smack really hard
smack
into each other.
really hard into each other.
Oh, and then and I know they actually would purposely blow it up a little bit, like 100 feet above ground.
Yes, because if you were to have it detonated by impact, the ground would absorb most of the radiation, and it would make the ground, radioactive for much longer. If you air detonate it, the blast will go out in a much, much wider trajectory, causing a much larger explosion, but it will also produce less fallout for the most part, I believe. Or not less fallout, but the area around will be less radioactive for less time.
So we chose a higher destruction right then and there, but lower destruction in the long run.
I believe.
Thanks, Eisenhower.
I am nowhere close to knowledgeable in nuclear physics or just physics in general. So.
I actually saw the documentary of the dude who was present for both bombs dropping and survived both.
Oh yeah, I've heard about him.
They had him on the thing, and the first time the bombs dropped, what was it?
Wasn't he within 20 miles of both blast? Or
yes, first time he was just home getting ready to go to work, and then it blew up, and he survived it, and he saw firsthand what had happened. What was the day difference between Big Boy, Little Boy, and Fat
I
Man?
want to say like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, right. And he managed to escape and wants to go back to work because that's where he felt safe.
Right.
And he just watched the other one drop. And there was one that was really scary. One that was really scary, actually, was he's old and he's fine now. But when the bombs dropped, he was a young child.
Right.
And when the bombs dropped, he survived by the grace of God, but his mom and dad were just erased. And he remembers when he gets up and looking for his parents, he sees his father was like doing something with a hose, and he was just a shadow.
What do you think of the nuclear shadows? I was going to like bring that up.
That is incredibly scary to know that people weren't even able to watch what happened, and it just literally erased them out of existence, leaving just a shadow of what they were doing prior. There was one of a little girl jumping rope. She's mid jump, and it's just her shadow. Um, what would be cool is I haven't seen this done before. Is if the shadows came to life, like the radioactive shadows,
Nuclear shadows.
nuclear. Is that called nuclear shadows?
I am not 100% sure.
Uh,
Hmm.
What do you think of the really old 1950s test kits that had little uranium packets in it for kids to play with?
That's funny. What do you think of the how in like a lot of like nuclear drills for like kids in school in the 40s for like, a nuclear drill in case a bomb dropped, they said that like hiding under your desk would prevent you from getting hurt by radiation.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I thought it was just like a protective cover from the blast. I didn't know it was from like gaslighting
No,
people to think of
they like
radiation.
told people that just like hiding under objects or like hiding in your basement would protect you from the fallout. And
So they gaslighted people into
effectively they
Oh,
gaslit them. Would that even be gaslighting? Or would that just be, a way to make people feel a little bit more comfortable in
you
the
make people
event?
feel comfortable through the gaslighting. In this case, it wouldn't be gaslighting, it'd be fission lighting.
You.
Me, and you, just the two of us. We can make it. Oh, anyways, I, anyways, here's Wonderwall. I can't think of anything else to say. Oh, that's the phone. I can't think of anything else to say now, because
we could talk about how like they use a lot of nuclear materials in like day-to-day things,
they?
or they used to anyway.
Didn't the glow scopes on weaponry used to use radiation?
It still does.
Still does.
Tritium.
Tritium.
They're called tritium sites. I believe that's the brand name.
That was Megan who just ran by.
Hello, Megan. That was right by. I believe what they do is they put a very, very small. It's when we think of radiation, we think of like uranium. We think of like gamma radiation.
Yeah.
I believe what they put in there is like I'm not exactly sure what the isotope is, but it's a very weak isotope. I believe it's alpha radiation, which I believe is stopped by your clothes. It's stopped by paper.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
There's Geiger counters. An alpha radiation filter is just a piece of paper over the actual the detector head.
Is it a special kind of piece of paper?
No, just paper.
Thanks, paper.
Yeah, beta radiation isn't even that hard to block either. It's concrete, I believe you can use to block it, or just some dense, I believe.
Does lead appear naturally?
Yes, lead is a naturally occurring mineral.
I thought it was something they made in a lab for the longest time.
No, I believe it's the heaviest known naturally occurring metal.
I thought that was gold.
Gold's actually kind of light, comparatively, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I have been lied to. We should go back to the time we put lead in paint and let the kids eat it.
Yeah, the reason why people ate lead paint is because it tastes sweet, because lead tastes sweet, which is why. Hmm?
No, I'm like, oh,
One of the other reasons why is because people, peasants, the Dark Ages, they would whenever they would drink water that was sweet, they wanted to drink the sweet water, and a lot of the time it was either contaminated with bacteria or contaminated with lead.
back in
And they
people,
eventually learned that the sweet water is the bad water.
much to their distaste. The last guy to find out it was bad water, he just kept drinking until he died. I mean, can you blame them that they didn't know?
No, not at all. They really did not have anywhere close to the technology we have. They wouldn't. I believe the concept of the atom, that was a
Renaissance thing.
Renaissance thing. I thought it was also like a Greek philosophy. Didn't like the root word from atom come from like the Greek language?
Well, a lot of our words come from Greek and Roman languages.
Right.
A lot of our current language does.
True.
Oh, do you have anything to say about the bring back Thorn argument?
Thorn. I like Thorn, the character Thorn. What about would you, if we brought back Thorn, do you think we should bring back Eth? The letter Eth?
I do not know what either are, but I know we talked about it for a quick second.
So the letter Thorn was used up until like late 1800s, early 1900s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
No, probably way before that, probably the 1700s, and it was just a letter to represent the th sound, the th.
But now we have TH for it.
But now we have the letters T and H. Well, we always had the letters T and H. It's just we used to actually have a character for it, which I believe they used to save money, save time and money when it came to making, manuscripts and
Really?
whatnot. I believe a lot of stuff like that was
It
because of that.
costs-
Like, how we used to use the letter V in place of the letter U?
Yeah.
That was for like saving time for, printing press
I did not know that.
and printing press saving time and money with the printing press or writing manuscripts and whatnot.
So it costs more. It costs less to put two letters than just one letter.
It costs more to put two letters compared to one letter.
Yeah. So then why'd they use it for cost constraints if it already existed? What about Eth? I don't know Eth.
The letter Eth,
Yeah.
it's like the same concept. It's like the ETH sound. And it's kind of the way it looks like it's kind of like a 6 with a slash through the
That's for Thorn.
curved hook. No, that's the Eth.
Oh.
Thorn is like a P, but the little line on the back continues up more.
Oh. That's what the Vikings did.
Yes.
Vikings.
Vikings are cool.
You look like one.
You say that a lot.
Because it's true. Man, we're making Viking wine.
We are making Viking wine. We're making mead.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's good.
We're doing it back at my place. And it's gonna be good. All right. This ends this first episode of Monkey Brain. This went everywhere and nowhere. This is awesome. This is what it's all about. See you guys. Oh my god, I hate not having a beard. Later. How do I end this? Oh.